Not locks, not nation, dreadhead family. You know what it is? Get those dreads out and ready for this video. These locks going on 5 years right now. A lot of people acting crazy like, yo, your dreads are 5 years. How do they grow so quick? I have no idea. I just eat healthy, drink lots of water. And it's actually an integral part about healthy hair growth. But further on that later in another video. Today we're discussing Dreadheads reviews number 28. So make sure you stay tuned, stay subscribed. This is Not Nation. Hit the intro. Hit it right now. The intro.
Madder than, sicker than them. Madder than, sicker than them. Dreader than dread, dreader than dread. Yeah, but look at me tell them, say, yo, say what? We rise up on a left them up.
Yes, the intro. And this is Instagram. I did make a Snapchat account once again, so you guys can send me snaps of your dreads as well if it's easier for you on that platform. My Snapchat is not nation, not underscore nation on Snapchat. I'm actually out of water. But yes, not nation on Snapchat. Send me those dreads and I'll get them in the reviews as well, because Instagram is kind of on my satisfaction with reviewing dreads on here, but it's working. But nonetheless, let's get right into these dread reviews here. This is Red Carpet Girls. She's one of the youngest celebrities in the dance world right now, one of the best dancers out there. But besides that, shout out to everyone that has sent me messages here on the Instagram. But today the first person with the dreads we will be looking at, I gotta scroll down to the bottom here because there's a lot, and I feel like Instagram is better for this. I mean, Snapchat's better for this because I can get a lot older messages and whatnot. But Lomas official, 2 years freeform, and these are what his dreads are looking like 18 months in. Very wavy, very loose ends with the tips. And 2 years at this point. I mean, they look pretty good. I like the length that he's got going on, and I just hope that he can make it 2 more years. I mean, once you already make it to 2 years, I'm sure you can do another 2 pretty easily. His locks looking very righteous, very thick, big natties. And you notice how there is some gray hair. That's fine. It's perfect. Look how big the back Congo is going on over there. And another big thing to notice is how thick the side dreads are. This front one here looks like it's been braided up into a lock. Was probably just loose hairs. And it looks like he's working in an office. So dude, how do you go about getting an office job with the freeform locks? Someone asked me that today. And honestly, it's your skill set, not your look initially. Just wanted to show you he's still going. Give you an update on my freeform. A year ago in April, I sent 2 pics, and this is what they look like now. So these locks right now looking pretty good. They are down to his chin, and look how thick they are at the front. This is pretty much a freeform edition of subscribers dreads. And just notice how when you are freeforming, they do form thicker and wider and often flatter than the traditional interlocks or twists that are always thin, cylindrical. It's like, try going to a loctician and ask them for a twist and end up with thick dreads. The only way to really get thick dreads is freeforming or by wicking your hair. That's probably the only technique that's going to manipulate dreads to be thick. And of course, when they are thick like this, they do show that much more character and charisma and confidence and inspiration. All the good things that come about from having dreads, and not the anxiety and not the stress or the worry. I mean, you can have 2 types of locks, the worrisome locks or the confident locks, and it's up to you on which way you want to do it. So a good sign of that here is the new growth, very afro-y, a lot of length to it. And these will start to contract over time. They still look like they're a little bit thicker because they're on the younger side, but I think that they're great, man. Keep those locks growing. Never stop. Keep it up. Techwood here. Inspiration. Interesting dreads here. He's got them braided up a little bit. Going for that Wick look. And I mean, these could have been thinner dreads, like twisted and then combined into thicker dreads. Notice the new growth happening, almost like an afro. Major taper happening on the front here. And it looks like he's even got rubber bands in on the end, which of course is to seal the end. So I think they've been combined up into wicks pretty recently. Otherwise, you wouldn't really need the rubber bands in there. But they do look pretty cool. I love the wick look, man, because they're just so out there. They're ridiculous looking and just makes you have so much more courage, I find. And that's why I admire the wick look. So big up Tech Wood for sending that in. I appreciate the locks, of course, family. Next up, we are looking at... Already looked at Lomas's dreads here. So now we are looking at D-Mark 1.7. Just got retwist. It makes 3 months. I watch you on YouTube all the time. I appreciate that. Baby dreads here on the retwist. Go freeform if you can, man. Don't go back to that loctician. Just let them grow in. They're gonna lock from where you have it now. Just you know, don't go back to that loctician if you can. So I appreciate you sending in those pictures. Best of luck on the journey, bro. Next up, we are looking at Big Pressure 7-month freeform, starting out with the almost wick-like Bantu knots, where it looks like they could have been sewn or rubber banded into those shapes. And then, of course, as they grow out, he's taken them out of the rubber bands and has let them grow in freely. These dreads really reminded me of Fredo Santana on here, these dreads in his earlier stages. And to the big surprise, these do look like they are freeforms. And of course, freeforms being the true form, the only form. They're looking really good, bro. Keep those growing, man. 1 year and 4 months, so he's almost at 1.5 years. And probably the best stage, because you're very excited about your new dreads still, and they're starting to fall down in different areas. And then here he's now trying to form some bigger congos on some areas. And don't be afraid to play around with them in that sense, and being able to make thicker dreads if you can by combining some together. On the same note, to anyone watching these videos right now playing with their hair, you gotta stop touching your hair, because the more you touch it, the more you're gonna get dirt and grease in there, and the less they're gonna form. Shout out to Molly Rasta, longtime supporter of the channel. It's got some dread beads in there, rubber band. Also looking at trying to combine those locks together. And just for the note, I have not heard of this coconut oil before. There's plenty of coconut oils out there that one could use for dreads. Organic coconut oil is the best. Try not to use any processed or refined, but definitely good to use for that hydration of your scalp and even in your hair as kind of like a conditioner. So these locks looking pretty cool. I like the way that he's got the hoodie on top, and they're definitely baby dreads. You can tell that they're free forming on their own, and they're still in the early stages because they're very loose and wispy and not like tight. But they will get tight. They will get there. Give it like another 6 months and they're gonna look pretty dope. You can already see like some congos and finger locks happening. Binky bongo dread head for sure, man. I love the way that these are forming out. Sounds like some of my weed is falling in the tent there. But yes, definitely like an Alfred Payton type look here. Almost like the Weekend forming at the front. Don't separate these locks, because they will be fantastic. And that's my tip. Any products that I recommend to use, I have a little fro. Trying to start locks, just use water, bro. Just wash your hair, cold water. Maybe put some baking soda in that as well. And that's all you really need to start off, man. Just cold water, no comb. These dreads looking insane. I am super stoked on how these have turned out. Really interested in how big the Congo is on the top, and just how they all fall pretty freely. I mean, this is a pretty trippy way of wearing your hair. Definitely an attention grabber as well, and that's one thing about dreads, is they do grab a lot of attention and a lot of lint. So watch out when you're doing the laundry, and watch out in the forest too, because you pick up leaves and sticks as well. I've been there, I've done that. These locks looking cool. I like that big finger dread at the back, huge ass Congo, and this is when they're laying down. So definitely a different look between up and down. You can have some fun with them in that way. Moving along here, we got Bandman Dawn with some freeforms. Looks like they may be twisted actually, but you know, twisted dreads could always turn into freeform locks, no problem. Here he's got the little headband going on around it. Pretty good look to have when you are in the baby dread stage. In fact, when you have any type of stage of dreads, headbands usually look pretty damn good. This guy's dreads growing in really freeform. Wondering what you should sleep with. You don't really need to sleep with anything. If you do want to sleep with something, you could wear a dreadlock sleeve, or pretty much works the best, made out of silk. But this guy's dreads looking really cool. You're viewing interlocking, and then from them interlock freeform. Don't even interlock them, because your hair is gonna look fire freeforming it from here. And this is like a type 2C-ish hairstyle, and you can see that maybe it's a type 3A, but you can really see how the dreads are forming together, and they're not even really dreads at this point, they're just locks of hair sticking together. But the back definitely being the first area that's going to dread up, because that's where you're sleeping, that's where the most friction is happening. But even though they're curls, you can see that at some areas they are locking up, and that's the beginning stage. You know, they don't have to go any further at this point. Just give it time and patience, and these will turn into really dope locks. And of course, he started with his hair long. As they begin to lock up, they are going to shrink like mad. They are going to be a madman on the shrinkage, because that's what happens. The hair contracts, and it's a good sign. You know, you need it to shrink for them to lock up, which you really notice in this video here, that his locks are going together pretty thick and very shrunken. But I love to see that they are forming, and the dreads at the back are gonna lock quicker than the rest of your hair once again. The last photo that he sent in here really shows us now that he is fully locked, fully frizzy, and at the same time really shrunken. But that length will come back in time, so there's not much to worry about. And now that they're locked, there's nothing to worry about them coming out as well. You did a good job, man. And this is the awkward stage, of course, but it's part of the game. It's all part of the game, no big deal. These dreads looking pretty cool. Speaking of Bantu knots, this guy's got some green Bantu knots going on as well. Real big sections going on here. Maybe like less than 15 dreads entirely. It does look a little bit ridiculous at first, but as they grow out to be bigger and longer, they just look sick and more OG than ever. So it's really cool to see the progress of what this guy's going to be doing with his locks. FedEx free. 3 to 4 months, 5 months in now, you really see that they are locked together, and the rubber bands and all that are out, so you just got to keep them in now. He's continuing to do that taper, the high top style. I'm really intrigued to see how these will turn out in like 5 years and see how the locks look. But unfortunately, a lot of people aren't in the game for that long. They just do it for a bit and they get tired of it. They cut them out. But this does show who the real dreadheads are, the ones that can stick around. These locks by Rare Hunta looking incredible. Definitely freeformed. Maybe started with a crochet hook, if anything, but they are very frizzy. Don't worry about frizzy dreadlocks. Frizzy dreadlocks are good dreads because it shows the confidence once again. It shows that you don't care what the system thinks of you or what people think. So it's important to keep that mindset and to keep your skin thick, because there are going to be haters out there telling you, you know, Ray, your hair looks stupid. You need a haircut. You're never going to get a job like that. Listen, buddy. Stop telling me how to live my life. Do I tell you how to live yours? No. So pay some respect and some homage. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's people out there that get that a lot. Leave a comment down below if you are one. And just remember to keep your skin thick. And your dreads thick, too. This guy's locks looking on the thinner side, but definitely freeform. You can just tell by the shape of the shaft of the dreads. Oh, I take it back. Looks like there is some twisting going on here, right down to the scalp. It's all good. Twisted dreads are still dreads. A dread is still a dread at the end of the day, but it does hurt. It does cost. Does look better with freeforms, in my opinion. But they look sick. Keep it up. Nappy Boy Jordan freeforms coming in real short. Almost at a year, maybe. Afro locks, my favorite. Reminds me of Bob Marley in his younger years. I appreciate that you fuck with the channel, homie. Keep those locks joining up. Keep them congoing. You know, big ups and big respects to you, man. Those are sick. Really sick. And I just want to see progression. So it's like, Nappy Boy Jordan, send me a video a year from now and see how your locks are doing. You know, I'm encouraging that dreadspiration and dedication here, so people can refrain from cutting their locks, refrain from combing them out, and retain the knowledge and experience that you are going through with these dreads for as long as you can. Share that wealth with people, because essentially it will make people healthier, going the organic, natural way of having a hairstyle. This guy's dreads, I think it's China. Very dope, very inspirational. Wick gang, and it just shows you how dope wicks turn out to be. Even with, it's actually funny because the afro, the new growth here, it's almost like you can't have wicks without that, because it just won't work. They need that strong base of an afro, because these dreads are just so much thicker than your average. And you know my feelings on thicker dreads. The thicker the dreads, the thicker the skin, essentially. That's the way I see it. So China, been doing it real big with his dreads. Go follow him on YouTube and on Instagram. Jase 1111, big ups, boy. I know he's gone vegan. I know he's gone full freeform as well. That's sick. One thing is, I am trying to go vegan now, actually. I've done it pretty well in the past, but not fully, but I'm actually ready to commit to it for the 2020 season. So shout out to all my vegans out there. Let me know in the comments below who is on that plant-based diet. I'm currently watching The Game Changers on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it and learn about how these athletes are outperforming others by eating plants. And the best thing is, where people get their protein from if they're not eating meat. I personally haven't eaten meat in a while. The last piece of chicken I ate was probably about a month ago. The things that are slipping through the cracks for me right now are milk, things that they hide in products made with milk ingredients. Cheese I'm getting rid of. And I'm honestly just super stoked to be trying this new experience, because it does go naturally. Like it's like, if you are free-forming your hair to be organic, to be natural, why wouldn't you do the same on the insides of your body as well? Go natural, go organic. Stop eating the brainwashed propaganda. Stop feeding into that brainwashing. Like, everyone's brainwashed, and it's crazy. And I've talked about this before on the channel in terms of other forms of brainwashing that the media has given us, the government's given us. But the biggest lie these days is the brainwashing revolved around diets. And it's just insane to see how much brainwashing there actually is going on out there. And of course, the biggest thing about the brainwashing is that you want to break free. Brainwashing is done by Babylon, and we know that the Babylon system is a shit system. It doesn't work. It's meant to keep us oppressed, down-pressed, when we want to be all about our uprising and being our best and expressing our best selves and just experiencing our best lives. So please consider it. Watch The Game Changers as of recently, and we'll see just how strong these guys are being and getting just off of plant-based diet. This is the last thing I'll say about this, but the biggest thing about eating plants is, you think about people that say you need meat for protein. Well, the animals you're eating to get that protein, where do you think they're getting the protein from initially? You don't see oxes and cows and pigs and chickens eating other animals to get their protein. They feed off of plants. So they're gathering all this protein from plants, and then you're using the animal as a middleman to get that protein from the animal. When really we can just skip the middleman. You always want to try and move around the middleman in any situation, so you get right to the source. And this is something to think about. Go right to the source. That's the main goal for today. But I'm going to end this video here. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Smash that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. Leave a like, leave a comment down below, and share this video. It goes further than you could believe in terms of helping this channel grow. So until next time, peace out, one love, stay happy and nappy, and I'll see you guys in the next dreadlock updates. I'm gone.
Badder than, sicker than them. Badder than, sicker than them. Dreader than dread, dreader than dread. Yeah, but look at me tell them, say, yo, say what? We rise up on a left with them.